In this secret sharing scheme, the hobbits individually have the least amount of information out of everyone in the fellowship. This is because the hobbits are the most numerous race. Thus, we tentatively assign each hobbit 1 point in our polynomial. Thus, the hobbits in total have 4 points. In this scheme, we require that unanimity within one race is insufficient to determine the secret. Thus, this scheme must require at least 5 points to determine the secret. So we tentatively fix the polynomial at degree 4. Now let's look at the men. There are 2 men, and we also want to make sure that 2 men is insufficient to determine the secret. Thus each man must have at most 2 points. So in total they have 4. Now let's look at the elves. There is 1 elf in the party, so therefore he must have at most 4 points. So let's assign him 4 for a total of 4. And similarly for the dwarf. Now let's verify if unanimity within one race plus one other person is enough to determine the secret. 4 hobbits plus a man gives us 6 points. 4 hobbits plus an elf gives us 8 points. 4 hobbits and a dwarf gives us 8 points, all of which is greater than or equal to 5. Therefore, this works for unanimity within the hobbits. Now, if we have unanimity within the men, we also have 4 points plus a hobbit will be 5 points. 2 men and an elf will be 8 points. 2 men and a dwarf will also be 8 points. An elf and a hobbit is 5 points. An elf and a man is 6 points. An elf and a dwarf is 8 points. And finally, a dwarf and a hobbit is 5 points. A dwarf and a man is 6 points. And a dwarf and an elf is 8 points. Thus we have satisfied all of the conditions of our scheme. So to summarize, our scheme is to assign each hobbit 1 point of a degree 4 polynomial. Each man is assigned 2 points, each elf is assigned 4 points, and each dwarf is assigned 4 points.